Everyone hates mud. And this is what our ISO area used to look like. It was disgusting and gross, and I hated it. So let me show you how I solved that problem. But first, make sure you subscribe below. So everybody's least favorite thing about owning farm animals is mud. Mud is disgusting. So my goal this year was to figure out how we got our ISO area to not be muddy. Like I said, this is our ISO area, and you might wonder, why do we need an ISO area? And I'm going to tell you why first, and then I'm going to explain to you what we did to kind of solve our mud problem. So ISO is used for all the new animals that come into our farm, because we can't just bring animals into our farm and introduce them to our existing herd. That's, for one, scary and dangerous, and, in my opinion, irresponsible. So what we want to do is whenever we bring an animal into the farm, what we focus on is making sure that animal is healthy and happy and acclimated well, so that when we introduce them to the rest of the herd isn't affected by them, and there's no danger to our main herd with that new animal coming in. So that's why we have an ISO area to begin with. So we had a livestock structure out here, which is the structure behind me here. It's a prefab structure that we purchased built just as is, and we put it out here on top of the dirt. Well, what happens is when you put a structure like this on top of dirt, the animals utilize the structure. That's what it's here for. So the area around it becomes like a muddy, disgusting disaster mess. So what happened is this structure was great and the animals utilized it, but everything around it and everything inside of it was all mud. So I thought to myself, how can we possibly solve this problem? And I'm going to show you what we did. But before I show you, make sure you subscribe below. So when animals arrive here at Fluffy Feather Farm, this is where the trailer is unloaded. And that section goes up to our driveway, obviously. So we have a big long drive that comes and ends right here, which is all cement, which is great. Then we have these gates, and then behind here is ISO. So come over here, let me show you. So this is where the mud started. So what we decided to do is that we already had concrete here. So what I did is I poured a post and beam foundation around the outside of the livestock structure. So come here, I'll show you. So I called the cement guy and I said, I want you to do an outline around my livestock structure so that I can put ag lime in it and get rid of all of my mud. So he came and he poured this perimeter around the outside of the livestock structure. So you can see it's about 10 inches wide. It goes about 2 feet down in the ground, and then it has footings about every 8 feet that we went down 4 feet. So it's not going anywhere. We could actually build a structure on top of this if we wanted to, but we don't need to because we have that one already. So after we got done with that, what we did is we put in 3-inch gravel, and on top of that, we put in agricultural limestone fines, which is also known as barn lime or ag lime. So that's what the brown substance is in here. This is agricultural limestone fines. This is a byproduct of them basically mining limestone. So this product allows the water to drain through. The 3-inch gravel underneath allows the water to seep through into the ground, which is great. And as you can see, guess what? No more mud. And this is a great day to show you because it rained all day today. So if you can imagine, in the past, this would have been a giant mud puddle with a ton of water in it. We have our structure on here. We have a hay ring inside. The animals eat in this section. So all of the hay goes into the structure in the hay ring, and then morning and evening, now we're able to clean this area, which is the biggest thing I wanted to achieve. Because before, when you have a bunch of hay on top of a bunch of mud, you're not able to clean it, right? So at the end of the season, we would come out here with a skid steer or the tractor, we would scoop everything up and we would put it into our compost pile. But now what we can do is daily, we come out here and we rake the entire area and we clean it every single day so that over the course of an entire season, we no longer have this buildup of mud and hay and everything else that gets disgusting in this area, and we can keep it nice and clean. And then our cows, in turn, stay cleaner because I think we all know that a majority of their time is spent eating, so they spend a lot of time in here. Our animals are less muddy. We have had less hay loss because they basically eat everything we put out here because none of it ends up in the mud. And we're able to clean it twice a day, which has really, really been not as difficult as you would imagine. It sounds like, oh, they clean their ISO area every single day. It's not a big deal. It takes maybe about 10 minutes every time we clean this area to rake the entire area. And so that's 20 minutes a day that we spend raking this whole section, which it would have taken us a day and a half to clean this every year in the spring and in the fall. So it's better for the animals, it's better for us, it's better for our hay consumption and our hay cost. Was this a little more of a complex solution to our problem? Yes, absolutely. We had concrete laid, we had ag lime delivered, we had 3-inch gravel put in. Yes, this is a more complex solution. However, I will tell you that it solved our issue 100%. Okay, so ultimately, I am super happy with how this project turned out. This was my test area. So now, unbeknownst to Mike, I'm gonna do this in other pastures too. So we're gonna take some other areas, we're gonna lay concrete, we're gonna fill them with ag lime and put the structure on it, because now we can keep our pastures cleaner, we can make sure that our animals' feed is cleaner, and ultimately we can clean every day and make sure everybody's happy, healthy, and taken care of. So if you want to see some more cool ideas like this on how to make your farm more maintenance free, subscribe below and follow along because we are always coming up with new cool stuff to add to our farm.